Oh, sparks. Ooh. I was not expecting that. Hey up YouTube, it's Theme Park Bazza here. Mrs. Bazza is upstairs soaking herself in imperial leather to smell gorgeous as always. We're back in the house now. It's been 2 days since, 3 days actually since we got back, since you saw a travel vlog. We've basically been self-isolating, not for COVID, but because we've been full of colds. Maxon's got a head cold. I'm still suffering from my chest cold from a week ago. We're getting there slowly, but it's now Saturday, the weekend. And we have some jobs to tackle because while we were away, some things broke while we were away in the house. And some things broke when we got back. So let me walk you through trying to address the things that are broken now, and I'll talk about some things that happened while we were away. So let's go over here. And we're back over here. AC. The AC unit actually failed while we were in England. How did I know? Well, this thing is a smart thermostat, this Honeywell thing. It is a smart thermostat, which means it's connected to internet. And we have cameras and stuff in the house that automatically go off, but this is more of a push. You have to go and check it. And about halfway through the trip, I don't know why, I just went onto my phone and I got the Honeywell app. In fact, I'll get my phone now and I'll show you what that looks like. So let me come over here. So new phone, your Galaxy S21 Ultra. Might do some live streams from that. Let me know, would you like to see live streams from Disney or from the parks? I don't know, might do it. You let me know if you'd like to see them. So on the phone here, we have an app that is the Honeywell app for this thermostat. And I went in and looked at it, and here you can see, I can see the temperature, I can change the settings on it. Anyway, the temperature inside the house was, when I was looking at it, was around 87 degrees Fahrenheit inside the house, which in English is 30 degrees centigrade. And it should have been set to 76. So, I got the crazy Scottish neighbour to come in. We left them a key and have a check and see, was it the water level? I'll put a link up here to that vlog. Was it the water switch that we saw last time that was stopping it from running? He said it wasn't, but the outside unit wasn't working. So I contacted Prestige Air, who put the system in. When did we have it put in January, February this year? And to get somebody out. Other interesting thing as well is they have 4 engineers, but 3 of them were out with COVID. So if you are coming over to the parks this year or next year, please protect yourselves. Florida's still pretty contagious. Get yourself jabbed if you can. Masks, sanitize. I'm not saying you will catch it, but it's just the way of the world here that everybody seems to have it at the moment. Fingers crossed we managed to get away with it. Anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, we got them out and they fixed it. But what I did was here, I'll show you, here's a screen grab of the alarms. I can actually set an alarm on this high alarm to go off if it passes a threshold. So I set it to 80, and you can see here on this list the first one when it went off, and then a few days later it triggered again above 80 degrees in the house, and I checked and it was like 82, 83 in the house. So again I rang Prestige Air and they had somebody out, and when they sent me the service reports they were talking about the unit outside, and they replaced a capacitor the first time, like to start it, but he didn't have the other parts. He thought the other thing could be this relay. Anyway, they've replaced the relay, and fingers crossed, since then it's been working fine. And they sent me the reports with all the details in, and no charge of course because it's under warranty. But kind of surprising in the first year to have it, excuse me, chest cold, to have it fail in the first year. Anyhow, positive side, always look for the positive, is we were in England and weren't here and having to suffer with it when it happened. So that was a good thing. So we're hoping that the AC is fixed now. But good thing having these apps and remote control, because you can actually control them. I was more worried that this thing was been running. I hadn't noticed for 2 weeks because I don't know why, I just checked it. And this thing had been running flat out trying to cool the house down, and had actually burnt through, I don't know how much electricity. But what happened is it went into a lock, did the unit outside, which means it wasn't spinning. So hopefully, I'll let you know when the electricity bill comes, but hopefully, even though it's trying to cool, the fans and everything weren't running because it had locked, and hopefully it won't be too expensive. So that was number 1. Number 2, let's go over here. And number 2, we're in the garage. When we got back, both cars had issues. The first one is Maxine's. When we took it out, went shopping when we got back, lots of alarm bells ringing inside the car. Well, you don't have alarm bells today, but messages, needs a service. But also all the tyre pressures were low. I don't know why standing in a garage for a month would cause all 4 tyre pressures to go down. Maybe they were low anyway. But I'll tell you what was really interesting. Let me show you something. I found something really unique about, I don't know if this is just a Nissan or any other make of cars, but there's something unique they have now that helps you when you're doing your tyre pressures. So if you're doing tyre pressures yourself at home, I was always brought up to use one of these, like a tyre pressure gauge, checking the tyre pressures, or these new pumps have a gauge in them as well. It's supposed to give you a tyre pressure gauge, but I never trust them, these new ones. Anyhow, let me show you something that's new about these type of cars, where you don't need this and you don't need this. All you need is the car, because it's a smart car. So what I'm going to do is I'll just let a bit of air out this tyre to let it low again, and then I'll show you what I found when I was pumping it up. So this is the process that I followed for my car. Is number 1, go and start it. Number 2, plug in this air compressor and start pumping up the tyre. Let's go do that. Car is running, as you can hear. Let's go and put this guy in. By the way, the garage door is open, so I'm not going to choke myself with fumes. That's why it's a big backlight here, because you don't want to be doing this with the without the garage being open. Okay, ready for the noise? So this flashing light means it's now in automatic tyre pressure sensing when your indicator starts flashing, and then when it hits the pressure, the horn will pip to say your tyre's at the right pressure. How cool is that? Let's go around the front and see if we can hear it go off. So what should happen is, and I know there'll be a lot of noise in the background, is as soon as that hits the right pressure, the horn will sound, which is 35 pounds per square inch on this car. Who knew this was a thing? And I have checked it. Oh, you hear it? There he goes. There you go. 35 pounds per square inch. How cool is that? I have to check if your car can do that. Never knew. So if you put the tyre pressure in, your indicator start flashing with the engine running, it means it's got that feature. And it did it on all 4 tyres. It picked every time on all 4, so good job, Nissan. I didn't know that was a thing. Now let's talk about the more serious problem. We'll stop this car and look at the more serious one, which of course is my car. So the problem with my car, as you can tell with the bonnet being up, is dead as a dodo. Came back now, my fault probably. I left it locked with the alarm on. So after a month, you know, maybe I should have left it unlocked when I went away. But dead as a dodo, just couldn't even open the door with the remote, had to unlock it with the key. Then I went under the bonnet and said, okay, where's the battery? It's not here, it's not here, it's not here. Maybe it's under this cover here, doesn't look like it. Have a quick look. Nope, that is fuses. So, not under the bonnet, which means if you've driven these type of cars before, it's probably in the boot, because they put them there for, I don't know, balance, I guess. Get that cover back on in a minute for balance. Problem is, the only way to open the boot that I knew of is with a key fob, because there is no release for the boot. Here, there's no way to put a key in. So, what do? Well, you go and look at Google, and then you look at YouTube. And what it turns out is, the battery is in there, but there are 2 terminals here, if you can see them, positive and a negative, that connect to the battery. Dead easy then, I thought. I'll charge it using my trickle charger that I had in Virginia. Slight problem. My trickle charger in Virginia, that is here, has a fancy connector on it. This thing has a fancy connector on it. This is the trickle charger and the fancy connector. The problem being is that, you know when you throw something away, you don't know what it is and you think, I don't think I need it. Yeah, I found the other part of that lead when we were moving house and threw it away. Checked online, it's as expensive to buy the lead or an old one because you can't get those anymore. So I went to our friend's Amazon and bought myself a new Amazon Basics trickle charger. And I've had this on the car overnight, but I did notice after about an hour it came back and said bad battery connected to those terminals here under the bonnet. So I could have a bad battery. I think the only thing I can try and do is jump start it with jump leads from Maxine's. You can get in to release it, the boot, but you have to fold the back seats down, climb into the boot, unscrew a panel, pull a cable, and then you can pop the rear and get to the battery. It's a bit of a palaver at my age, so I think stay with us. Don't know if this will work. So I've also read online that if you attach high voltage or battery to these terminals, then it can damage the electronics of the car. But then why would they put the terminals there in the first point unless they were there to jump the car? Don't know. But I could damage the Audi. Who knows? But at the moment, I have limited options. I tried jumping it. If it won't jump, then I've got to climb in the back and try and get the boot open and get the battery out and get a replacement battery. But it never had any problems before. Battery never caused any problems before. So my current train of thought is let's try jump start it. So I'm going to move the cars around and do that. Luckily, as well as the what you should always have, as well as that air compressor in the car and tyre and toolkit and stuff, I always carry jump leads. It's called experience. So we'll get these jump leads out and we will give it a go. Battery is here on the Nissan, and we need to get that onto here. So hopefully these leads are going to be long enough to reach. Get Maxine out here to help me, because surely two of you, that needs to be revving. I'm not convinced this is going to work, to be honest with you, but we shall see. Two leads are not touching. This should be completely dead, so there should be nothing happening in here. Just want to connect these and have it not touching anything. On the bodywork. Oh, better if you put them the right way around. The black should go black on the negative and the red on the positive. It doesn't matter as long as you get it right at both ends, but let's do it right. Barry, you're a trained electrician. To black and blue to bits, you know that. Okay, so they're attached at that end. Attach them at this end. Again, don't let them touch. So that should go to the neutral. You hope nothing blows up on the Audi, I really do. It should go to the positive. Gosh, that's a big old one to connect to. I got the jaws way open. Oh, sparks. Ooh. I was not expecting that. So why did... Why when I connected the battery did the light start flashing and the alarm started going off? Google. So what Google tells me is if an Audi has a flat battery and you try and jump start it and plug it in, it goes into a security mode to make sure that the car's not been stolen. So hopefully if I unblip it with the remote as soon as I attach the terminals, the alarm will stop. We'll see. Okay, you stay there. I'm going to go and plug these on again and then blip it with the remote as soon as I connect the positive and see if that stops the alarm going off. Then we'll try and start them. Yep, that seemed to work. So I'm going to get Maxine to start her car and then I'll try and start the Audi. I also unlocked the trunk with this, so at least I can get to the battery now. Okay, Max, going to start yours. And give it some reds once it's ready. Yeah, have the end of the battery, 3,000 RPM. Steady, right. Fill it. Well, as you can see, it ain't going to happen. So I need to probably get a battery for the Audi. And the charger, trickle charger, didn't say it's damaged. Sometimes draining those batteries down to the bottom can actually really damage them. Yeah, so not a lot we can do about that apart from, at least to get the boot open so I can get in and get to the battery and take it out to go get a replacement. That's a positive thing, saves me climbing through the boot. The plan B, I think, is... Oh, let me show you in the boot. Now it's open. So here is the battery, which is huge. Look at the size of it. There's my hand. You can see that in scale. Huge battery. And it's pretty well screwed in with all kinds of stuff in there. Other planets, I think I'll call AAA. We have planned with them for years. They did the Honda Pilot and made it. They'll come out and test the battery, see if it is a bad one, rather than me have to hold it and try and find a place to test it, and they should be able to give me a replacement. By the way, if you ever do get locked out of your Audi, here is the hatch area, and you see this thing here? Get into the light, Barry, can you see it? Maybe it's round here you have to go. There's a little switch with a hole in it there, see that? Put your key in there, twist it, and there's a cable that you pull to release the boot. The only fortunate thing is you have to fold down the seats, crawl into this space, get to that, and do it with the car key to be able to get in. But that battery is huge, so I think AAA is going to be my next call. So I've just done it all online. AAA are on the way and should be here in about an hour. All electronically, don't speak to a human being through the phone. And it'll probably be about $160 for a new, $170 for a new battery. Seems to be about the going rate at the moment. We'll see. We should be able to test it when they come as well and see if there's a problem with the battery or not. So time for a bite to eat while we wait for Mr. AAA to come, or Miss AAA to come. Now, what to have for dinner?
I wanna get to your clothes, gotta get it
Sardines.
right now. I wanna push all the limits.
Sardines on toast. Maxine loves the smell of these. I think I've ever these
Watch
for
your
dinner.
feelings, the city's screaming when I'm coming home tonight. We're living quick in the world, gotta get it right now. People talk and tell what you wanna hear now, but they all disappear, they will let you down. So we better stick together, let's come whatever. We're not coming home tonight. We're living quick in the world, gotta get it right now. We only need the two of us together. I need only you in this crazy world. 'Cause we got love. I need only you here with me. you do it right now. You know we met for a reason, but you're trying to deny that we should be together. It's heavy weather, we're heading for tonight. You better take what you can, cause the time is right now. We only need the two of us.
So after dinner, I just got a phone call from AAA. They're about 20 minutes out, probably just over an hour since I asked for them. Basically, you just spent 10 minutes putting the fear of God in me about the car, saying that you shouldn't jump start it because it can fry the battery, and even if he puts a battery on it, you're not going to be able to drive it. It's got to go to the Audi dealership to be reset, and the computer will have to be reset, and he is not a towing vehicle, so he's not prepared to tow it. So basically told me all the things that can go wrong, and then finished by saying, I'll come and see what I can do. So, not Mr. Positive, but we'll bring him out here. I'll have to Google it and see if that is a fact, that you do have to go and reset the computer. But it is what it is. We'll get him over here, we'll get the battery tested, and we will go from there. So the car is running. As you can see, Mr. Jolly was here. What he basically told me is the battery is knackered. It's not charging. If I turn the engine off, it won't start again. I did look online, and you do have to go, with Audis and BMWs, you have to go to the garage. And if you change the battery, you have to reprogram the car with the new battery code. I'm getting tyre pressure warnings on here like Maxine's did. I looked online at the Audi garage. I have no appointments until Monday, so what I'm thinking is that we may just jump in the car now, take it over to the Audi garage. It's about half an hour away. It's now 1:30 on a Saturday afternoon, and leave it there and go and pick it up on Monday. I do get low tyre pressure warnings, which I need to check, because like Maxine's, it's been sat here, so I may have to just go and do those before we go. I've got half a tank of gas, so I should be good to get there. Yeah, so everything's working inside. It looks, the clock, actually interesting, the clock in the car stopped on the 19th of September. So I'm assuming that's when the power went out. 2021, so it didn't reset to like a 0, even though the battery's dead. I think it locked at the time it shut down. So we will have to see. Complicated cars as are Audis, yeah. But he also said stuff about you have to run your car every 3 days or you damage your battery. If you don't run a car for more than 2 weeks, then your battery's damaged, which, yeah. Yeah, I've had this for weeks and not running, and it's been fine, and Maxine's has been fine. Maybe he says he knows best because that's all he does is batteries, but it sounds a bit iffy to me, that you have to run your car. And if you're going to go away for more than 2 weeks, you should put your car on a trickle charge to keep the battery. I mean, how many of you go on holiday for 2 weeks to abroad to like Orlando and put your car on a trickle charge? Don't think so. So anyway, he had an opinion. Some of the stuff he said was accurate. So I think I'm going to check those tyre pressures, and then, this doesn't have the fancy stuff the Maxine's car does. I'll just have to do it manually with the gauges, and then get the car off to the Audi garage as quickly as possible before I run out of petrol. So, Max has brought me to the Audi garage. We've dropped the car off. They're going to look at it. It's due for service about a year, so we may get it serviced, but they're busy today. It's a Saturday. They won't get to look at it till Monday. So we shall continue this story as and when we get the results of the battery test, and if we need a new battery for the Audi. So we'll see you in a bit. Hello YouTube, it's a few days later now. It is now Wednesday. So when I left you on Saturday, we just dropped the Audi off at the garage and it is back with us now. So what happened? So they couldn't work on it on Sunday, and then on Monday morning at 7 AM I got a message saying that they looked at the battery and the battery was faulty and it needed replacing. And up here I'll put a little video just down this side here, a little video that shows this is what I got from the garage in the morning about 7 AM. It was quite interesting actually. It was kind of the technician walking around looking at the car, reporting, and as you can see from this, the car's up on the ramps. They did a inspection with it as well, and they also, as you can see on this, they were checking the brake discs, which were good, and also checking the tires. But he did say that the tires needed rotating because they were unevenly worn and probably needed tracking doing as well. So I said, yeah, go ahead and do that. And then the final thing I said was, okay, when is the service due? Because it must be due about now. And the service was due, we're now talking early October. The service was due in November. For Audis, it's every 5,000 or 6,000 miles or 12 months. I don't do that much mileage, so 12 months. So yeah, knock that out while you're there. So the car is back, as you can see. We have a new super battery. As you can see, a very expensive battery. And here are the results. The scores are in. These are the results of how much this lot cost. So let's go through this with you. So we'll have a look at what they did. They did the engine, oil filter, reset the service indicator, brake system inspection, checked everything out. Nothing else needed replaces apart from the oil and oil filter. They obviously replaced the they replaced the valve cap that I was missing off one of the wheels for zero charge. Woohoo! Yeah, zero charge. They replaced the battery and reprogrammed it. They did the alignment, and then they did the real wheel rotation and balancing. So let's talk about how much that cost. So are you sat down? I'm going to sit down on the end of the Audi here. Are you ready for this? So the actual battery replacement, including everything, was, are you ready for this? $450. So it was $129 for the battery, and then they got to do $276, and then $15, and then they got to program it and everything. So basically it was $450 for a battery replacement. Now many of my friends have said, well, have you not owned a German car before? You should realise that. Well, I owned a Beetle. That didn't cost me this much. So I had to have the battery in for that. The alignment, the four-wheel check, just for the alignment was $224. And then the wheels rotate and balance was $80 just to switch all the wheels round. The cheapest part of it was the service, which came in at like $200. So the service was $200, the wheel rotation is $224. Long story short, this whole thing has cost me just over $1,000, which means I should be good for another year, but wow. Apparently it's the same if you're on a BMW or a Mercedes. It's the same sort of challenges you get with batteries and parts and fancy stuff. So it got me thinking, you know, I've paid $1,000 now. The car should be good for a year, but do I really want to keep this? I've had it a year now. Do I really want to keep it and pay this kind of money? We'll see. There's a cost to change and a cost to keep. But certainly a life lesson here for the Audi since we came back from holiday. So thank you so much for watching. So it may have been a bit boring for some of you. But all fun to see me paying out money for this stuff. But it's a good lesson to learn around these cars. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. And we will see you later. Bye.